good cup of coffee can turn the worst day tolerable, says Mark Pendergrass, the author of Uncommon Grounds. Well, excuse me while I drink my coffee. It's a large French vanilla swirl with almond milk in case anyone's buying. The average American drinks 2.7 cups a day. The lethal dose is 80 cups all at once, which, if that were actually possible, your stomach just could not hold that much liquid. But I don't think any of us are in danger. Neither are the 64% of Americans that drink at least 1 cup a day. Did you ever stop to think about where all that coffee came from? How it all magically appears in your cup? Well, today I'm going to talk about the history of coffee and how it came to end up in your mug. So, what is coffee? Merriam-Webster has the definition as a beverage made by percolation, infusion, or decoction from the roasted and ground seeds of the coffee plant. The coffee plant is actually a tree or a shrub in the evergreen family. It grows between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. It grows best in a mix of volcanic rock and decomposed vegetation. After the tree is about 3 to 5 years old, it starts to flower, and the flowers are white and very delicate, and they have a jasmine scent to them. These flowers then turn into unripe green berries. The unripe green berries then ripen into red coffee cherries. Inside each cherry are 2 seeds, and these are the coffee beans. There are 2 methods to collect these cherries. The first one is the dry method, where you would pick the ripe and the unripe berries. You would lay them out in the sun to dry. Then you would collect them all, crack them open, and collect the seeds inside. The other method is called the wet method. Again, you would pick the berries, only the ripe ones this time. Then you would send them through a water fermentation bath, which removes the pulp and the husk around the seeds. Then you would take the seeds, spread them out in the sun, and let them dry. Once they're dried, they're exported, end up at your local roaster, and then they end up in your cup. 1 tree yields about 5 pounds of fruit, which is 1 pound of dried beans. To support the average American's yearly consumption of coffee, you would need 16 coffee trees. So how in the world did coffee become the second largest export? It all started in Ethiopia. There's an Ethiopian legend about a goat herder. The legend goes that one day the goat herder went to collect his goats, and he called them, and they didn't come. So he went to go find them, and he found them in a patch of vegetation. They were running around excitedly, headbutting, and vocalizing. He thought, great, they got into something. This probably isn't a good thing. Brought them back home, expected them to die overnight. Next morning when he got up, they didn't have anything wrong with them. So he released them, and the goats went right back to the same patch of vegetation that they were at the day before. So the goat herder decided that he was going to try this plant that they were chewing on, since nothing had happened to them the night before. So he picked a leaf, he chewed on it, and all of a sudden he started singing and dancing and being very excited, and he thought, wow, this is a magical tree. I'm going to tell everybody about it. So originally they called it bun, and just like the goat herder, they chewed it. But then that was pretty bitter, so they started brewing a tea with the berries and the leaves. Then they started making a snack out of the ground berries and fats. Sometime in the 16th century, someone came up with a bright idea to roast the coffee beans. The story of coffee wasn't always smooth sailing. It was fraught with difficulties. Coffee growers had to deal with a fungus called rust, which attacks the leaves of the plant and causes the plant to die. Caffeine was also a big problem and a cause of controversy. Because of its psychoactive properties, many people thought it should be banned. And it was actually for a period of time. So Ludwig Roselius came up with a way to extract the caffeine from the berries. Want to hear a funny joke? decaf. There was also labor disputes, land disagreements, political unrest. They all caused problems for the coffee trade. So next time you drink your daily cup of coffee, or two, think of all that went into that cup. Think of all the hard work that goes to bring the beans to your mug. As the musician and actor Henry Rollins once said, what goes best with a cup of coffee? Another cup. Thank you.